So there's been a lot of trade talks as of late. I mean, there was one trade today that happened, which we are going to talk about. We're going to be talking about three trade news that have happened in the last 24 hours, I want to say. And, one of them, I really wished the Houston Rockets got him because I think the trade package that was offered, we could have offered way more. And, Rafael Stone didn't capitalize it. So we're going to be talking about three trade news today. Probably going to be titling something about the trade news, but there's been a lot of trade news, so let's get into it. But before we get into the video, I appreciate if you guys drop a like and press the sub button. I appreciate it for the support. 5K by the end of next year, so hopefully we can get it. Appreciate you guys drop a like and press the sub button. But getting into the video, first trade news I want to talk about, Cam Reddish. He's going to be probably the name of this video, but the Atlanta Hawks are trading Cam Reddish to the Knicks for, let's see, it says the Knicks are trading Kevin Knox and a first-round pick that's lottery protected by the Charlotte Hornets. And the Hawks are trading Cam Reddish, Solomon Hill, and a second-round pick. So I see this as a great trade for the New York Knicks. Obviously, they are a pretty young team. What's his name? RJ Barrett, one of the names to go out there. Julius Randle still in his prime, but that was another thing I want to talk about briefly is that, the Knicks don't have Julius Randle in their future plans. So he's definitely not within their future, but he is pretty young to be in his prime right now. So they could look to trade him. Probably not. Not right now. Probably maybe even the next season. But as of right now, he's not part of the New York Knicks' future. But RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly, Mitchell Robinson, all three of these guys are absolute studs. And then they got a mix of veterans, Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, obviously Julius Randle, and who is Alec Burks off the bench, and Derrick Rose, obviously. But they have a good future. Quentin Grimes, their rookie, I think he hit like 8 threes in one of the games. So he's shown a lot of potential. I think the other one was Moses McBride, I want to say. So the Knicks getting Cam Reddish in their lineup definitely gives them a better future. They got a good young forward that can play defense and shoot the ball. I mean, I think most people remember him dropping 34 points this season, his career high. He's been balling for the Atlanta Hawks, but the only real downside to him is that he has been very injury prone. Him and DeAndre Hunter both have been very injury prone, so that's one thing to look out when Cam Reddish starts playing with the Knicks. But I really wanted him to come to Houston. I think Eric Gordon, maybe even DJ Augustine in a second round pick would have gotten it done, but I have a feeling that the Hawks don't want to take on that extra salary, with Eric Gordon making $18 million and Augustine making $7 million. So that's probably one of the reasons. We probably could have done something around Eric Gordon, give him that more value, three-point shooting, that veteran experience. But I guess they just opted for Kevin Knox and a protected first-round pick, sorry. So I don't know how I feel about this trade. The Knicks, they get a young player, Solomon Hill, and a second-round pick. So I guess they do get Cam Reddish and a second-round pick, which is pretty decent in itself. And the Hawks, they get trash, basically. But I think the Hawks got robbed here, but I think they got it. They could have gotten a better trade package, but we'll see what happens in the future. If Cam Reddish does pan out and does prove to be a good role player for this Knicks team, then it's going to be proven to be a good trade for the New York Knicks, which is already looking like it is. So getting into the next piece of news, Mo Bamba. The Orlando Magic are reportedly seeking a first-round pick in exchange for Mo Bamba per Jake L. Fisher. So this is very interesting in itself because a lot of teams could use Mo Bamba. He's been actually having a breakout season for himself. He's been pretty great on the glass and offensively too. He's having a good comeback year. I think last year he didn't play too much. If we're looking at his stats right now, he's averaging 10 points per game, 8 rebounds and 2 assists. Great stats overall. He is averaging 2 blocks a game and 0.8 steals. So great defense to come along with good offense. 33 from 3 as a big man, which is also great, and 45 from the field. So a lot of teams could use a young center like Mo Bamba, either off the bench or just starting overall. And very interesting thing for the Houston Rockets, they could decide to move Christian Wood for Mo Bamba, which in itself doesn't really make any sense because, we have a lot of big men, Şengün, Tice, and Usman Garuba. So getting Mo Bamba in exchange for like Christian Wood or Daniel Tice, either one of them, and maybe like a first-round pick wouldn't really make 2 cents. I don't really know who would really need Mo Bamba. Maybe even the Celtics, with Al Horford aging, getting pretty old, bringing in a young 23-year-old Mo Bamba, 7 foot, 230 pounds. He could definitely be within their future, alongside Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And he can also stretch the floor too, which is pretty great. And I don't know. I mean, a lot of contenders could use Mo Bamba with him. The real downside to Mo Bamba is that he's also, I want to say injury prone, but he's very inconsistent. You know, if we're looking at the last few games against the Wizards, he has 10 points, 2 steals, and 9 rebounds. But in the game before, 5 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 blocks. So I don't know. In the last few games, he's actually been playing pretty well. But even before last Wednesday, he wasn't playing too well. So I just see a lot of teams going for Mo Bamba. If the Lakers can land him, that would be pretty amazing. I don't think they have any more first-round picks, but that would be pretty amazing. No, him on the Lakers or even on the Clippers, because, you know, the Clippers are willing to trade everyone except Terrence Mann, Kawhi Leonard, and Paul George. So we could see a lot of possibilities with Mo Bamba, but the one thing I want to see him do mostly is, you know, just be a proven big man. He's someone that can average around 2 blocks a game, and he's doing it right now. And he's definitely having the best season of his career overall. I mean, if we're looking at the past few seasons, he did average 8 points last season, around 1 block, 6 rebounds, and 0.8 assists to 10 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists. So almost career high averages in each category. So hopefully the Magic can capitalize on Mo Bamba's value, because he has a ton of value right now, if I'm being honest with you. He's way more value than people really think he has, because he's been under the radar, you know, being with the Orlando Magic, having, you know, that very young team. But I just see a team trading for this guy pretty soon, because he has a lot of value. And finally, the last piece of news I want to talk about today is the Los Angeles Lakers have expressed interest in Gary Trent Jr. Now, this is a little bit interesting because the Lakers, they're missing some defensive pieces. So the way I see it, Gary Trent improves their defense by a lot, and it's not even a joke, because the Lakers defensively have not been great at all. They could also look to get Robert Covington, who I could make a separate video on that guy, but we won't talk about too much about him. But he would improve their defense a lot, would fit their system. Same thing with Gary Trent, and he could play the 2 and the 3 spot. The thing about this is that I don't know who they would give up. Maybe THT in a first-round pick. The thing about that is their first-round picks aren't going to be too valuable in the future. So if the Raptors are willing to take on THT, I don't even know who the Lakers would trade, honestly, because this would be pretty messed up. But Gary Trent, I don't think he would part away from the Raptors, because I think he loves it there, you know, what they're building. They also have a great team overall. I mean, if we're looking at their starting roster, Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent, OG, Scotty, and Siakam, that's a good, solid future right there. And I don't think the Raptors want to ruin it with getting THT, who is, he is still a really good young player, but I'm not too sure if he fits in with the Raptors style that much. But let me guys know what you guys think about these trades and trade news. I personally feel that Cam Reddish trade was not great for the Hawks at all, but they are not doing great. But hopefully we can see some Rockets news soon, and hopefully we can at least see Rafael Stone make some moves. So that's the video. I'm JDT, and I'm out. Peace.